Well, here we are for episode number 18, and you have a window to peep into my senior odyssey. I don't know whether that makes me an exhibitionist or you a voyeur. As you get older, you just have to brag on your kids a little bit, and that's what we're going to do today. That's why I call this Sons and Daughters. It's actually part one. Without further ado, here is my daughter, Andrea.
So I'm Andrea Brower. I'm Ron's daughter. I live in Austin, Texas, and I have 3 kids. Nina, who's 14. I have a foster daughter, Mia, who's 14. And I have a son, Max, who is 11 years old. And I am married to Mike, who is an engineer at ARM, and he designs computer chips.
Can you tell us a little bit about high school?
Yeah, I grew up in Indianapolis and went to public school there, graduated from North Central High School, the biggest school in the state.
Now here's something she didn't tell you about high school. One day in springtime, back in whatever year it was, I don't know, she and her friend decided to take a trip to St. Louis, and they skipped school to do it. Well, that strangely came out about the same time as Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think there's a connection.
How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this?
And went to Indiana University, where my dad went for a very short time. And I decided I wanted to get out of Indiana. And so I moved up to Chicago and went to Loyola University, Chicago. Spent 3.5 years there and got a bachelor's in political science and a minor in English.
And here's something she didn't tell you about college. When she went up to Loyola of Chicago, was it because she wanted to get away, or was it because her boyfriend was going to Northwestern, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump from Chicago?
So after Chicago, I had a couple jobs, went to the Peace Corps, and then I went to UCLA in 1995, and I got my master's degree in social work in 1997. Worked for Child Protective Services and had some tough cases in Compton and Watts, and did adoption services there, and decided to head back to Texas in 1999. And since that time, I've been mainly working in public policy, working for the state legislature for 6 years, and then working as an advocate and lobbyist for several years for certain nonprofits and causes like gun violence prevention, early education, and most recently working on homelessness.
How about telling us what you're doing now? And that's about the program that you have for tutoring foster kids.
So I have a foster daughter named Mia, and she came to us in November of 2019. And like a lot of kids in the foster care system, she was behind in her education. She has some special needs. She's in special education. And so I did a little searching in the child welfare world in Austin, Texas. There are a lot of nonprofits and organizations to help kids in foster care in the area. So I looked at the model for a nonprofit called King, Kids in a New Groove, which provided 150 music teachers that gave free music lessons to foster kids in the Austin area. And I said, I'll bet that would work with tutoring with just generalized educational needs for kids. I did a little research, I did a little surveying, I wrote a proposal, and I approached some nonprofits to see if they would be interested in partnering with me, because I really didn't want to start a whole new nonprofit. So I decided to work with Foster Village, which is a local nonprofit in Dripping Springs in Austin. I had served on their advisory board, so they said, sure, come on board with us and develop it. So I started an advisory committee in July of this year, in 2020, and developed it and started it in August. And we now have 16 kids and 14 tutors. The reason that we need this specifically now during the pandemic, that we need this program and we need funding to grow it and to continue it, is because the pandemic has hurt a lot of children educationally, but it has particularly created disadvantages for kids in foster care, who are often in a lower socioeconomic status, who are disadvantaged from the get-go due to trauma, due to their living situation. So I feel like it's up to us as a society to step up and give them that help they need.
Well, that's Andrea, and we'll hear about Lance sometime in the future. But I hope you enjoyed the day, and let me brag on my kid, and I'll see you the next time.